Okay, so we're setting up the 1176 compressor. I've got an Audio-Technica 2020 microphone, AT2020 microphone, plugged into this red box, which is a mic pre. It's a Golden Age pre 73 little mic pre. I've got the 48-volt phantom power turned on because this microphone I'm using has to have phantom power. So what we do is we kind of go up in the middle. I always set my levels somewhere up in the middle section, kind of going up. And this for this particular mic pre, that works pretty good. I'm coming into the mic pre pretty good. If I wanted to plug, say, a bass guitar in, I would press this DI button right here down and plug the guitar straight into there like an acoustic guitar, or if you wanted to use your pickups, or a bass guitar straight into here. So it's got a gain that, I'm almost halfway up. It says 40. I'm on the 40 slot. And then my volume output level is about mid. And so we're going straight into this mic pre with the mic cable from the microphone. And then from the output, I'm going out of the mic pre and I'm going straight into the input of this 1176. And this is the 1176 KT, which is Clark Technic version of it. It's about $300. I love it. I love it a lot. So right now, setting this up for, like, as if I was going to do a recording session with a vocal. So I'm setting up for a vocal session. And there's a few settings on the front. This is the input knob. That's the output knob. This is the attack. This is the release. And then this is the ratio, 4-to-1, 8-to-1, 12-to-1, and 20-to-1 of compression. For a vocal that we're doing here, you want a little gentle compression before you go into the interface. And it's just the technique we use to record. It's really sounding great. For years and years, I've used this process. I use a gentle compression on vocals, so I do a 4-to-1, sometimes 8-to-1, but mostly 4-to-1 with a pretty slow attack, which means it's not all the way down to the left. I'm turning it up to about 5 up there, and a pretty slow release. Because when you want the signal, you want the initial signal to hit and then it compress. So you do a little slower attack, and that way you get the energy, but then it catches it and it slows the signal down a little bit, and then you want it to hold it for a little bit at that level and then release it. So that's why you do a little bit of turn this knob to a little over half for the release. That's usually what I set for somewhere around that area for vocals. Now I think you can see there's a meter here I'm pointing to, and right over to the right side of the meter there's a set of buttons, and I always put it in the GR, gain reduction mode, where I can see just how much this thing's working on the signal. So right now I've got it set so that normal talking and normal singing, it's not really hitting that meter too much. But if I go real loud like that, it compresses, and that's the amount of compression that kicks in, and that meter will show that to you. So now if it's doing too much, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to the extreme here, see how that meter really jumps. Well, you're going to start hearing that kind of compression, and it's going to be too much. So you want it to be, when you're talking like this, it's barely moving. I mean, barely moving. But when you're singing, my baby said she left me on the one after 9:09, you sing a thing like that, and, pardon my singing. You saw how at some parts of the singing, the meter jumped a bit. And that's because I went over a threshold, and it compressed that one little signal. You notice that when I say P, well, P has a lot of air to it, and it causes the signal to jump. And so when you say pressure, you saw that needle jump because the P brings more air, just the way our mouths work and the way it goes. And the compressor reacts to it because it hits that threshold and it goes over it and it compresses. So that's the tip of the day, is setting this input knob. Now the output knob, you're going to set that output so that your interface is not peaking. So if you go to your interface, you set this to about halfway, and then you also have to set your interface level so that you're not hitting the red. But I usually stay about a half on this output. Sometimes it varies. Some in that area there, but usually stays in the middle. This goes up and out. Some songs take a lot more dynamic singing than others. That's why you might have to change this input setting a little bit. But you also, pretty much keep it to 4 and 1. Keep it to the, a pretty slow attack, pretty slow release. On an acoustic guitar, I would maybe get a little bit. I would turn this, make it react a little bit faster. But I always listen to that stuff, see how it sounds. There's no really. I mean, you can break every rule in the book when it comes to audio. If it sounds good, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people say you should be doing. If it sounds good, go with it. That's the rule. That's why we have technology the way we is, because a lot of people they broke rules back in the 60s, and they built technology that broke rules. And that's the tip of the day for this 1176. Hope it helps.